Peace. Damn. Damn. I forgot that. Damn. Damn. Like that chicken head. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now, this coming off watching a Bobby Hemmett video where he was speaking on Osiris, Shiva, and Dionysus, but really he was speaking on a being that he had channeled called Kekumbo, if I ain't mistaken, Kekumbo. But there's a being that he channeled who, in essence, he said embodied the same vibration as Shiva, Dionysus, and Osiris. But what that stood out to me was how he brought out how they were the cosmic hold, that just kept on screwing like in some type of in some way, form, or fashion in their stories, you know what I'm saying? They dealt with the sexual nature or whatever. 'Cause that's what he's saying about Kekumbu. But what it brought me to the realization of is how that analogy of like being like a sexually active, you know what I'm saying, or frequently sexually active or a freak, you know what I'm saying, in essence, or somebody who likes to, how you say, screw a lot, you know what I'm saying. But whenever that's brought up, or say for instance, dealing with carbon, I wanna say, you know what I'm saying, it's very rare that that parallel will be drawn to ancient scripture about carbon and some of these ancient deities, because like Osiris, the black dot, not so much Shiva as far as the name stands for black, but Krishna stands for the black one. But these beings are also, some of them are personification of carbon, you know what I'm saying, or melanin. And a lot of people don't know, but like carbon, it's kind of like the freak of the element world. Basically, it's the one element that easily bonds with all the other elements. So it's like a little joke, like that it's slutty, like because it'll mix and mingle with all the elements. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about how that analogy of carbon, like where it mixes and mingles, it's one of the elements that bonds easy and don't mind bonding with all kind of different elements. And the personification of that within that story, like within the stories of Osiris, Shiva, Dionysus, and then the being he was dealing with, Kumbo, where he's like like, quote unquote from his words, a cosmic hole that just keeps screwing, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, blessings, old Bobby, but basically that's another parallel or another analogy that you could see tying all these different beings and gods into certain elements and things where you could see like the as above so below aspect. I really like the analogies, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of these guys is not really like no certain god or person. A lot of this is personifications of a galaxy and molecules. And by default, let me show you this. So say for instance a personification of the carbon molecule, but by default of the law of correspondence, as above so below, that story also explains the formation of something else, because carbon forms the way it forms and does what it does, mimicking something else bigger out in the vastness of the universe. And then that, whatever that is, that carbon mimicking is mimicking something else, that, you know what I'm saying? So by default, just by being a story of carbon, say for instance, is also telling a story of something else. Like say for instance, like with DNA, you got a certain chemical in the DNA that passes up and down the strand and corrects things, you know what I'm saying? Like basically rewriting things to get it back, aligned. And that's the same personification of the planet Nubaru in our solar system when it comes back uh in the area, you know what I'm saying? And it creates a vibration that kind of like awakens us or fixes, like basically, you know, uh fix all that vibration from the dark ages and from, our misinformation age and bring it all together and realign us basically as like a personification of DNA. But I found it I found like a real similar I found a real similar comparison dealing with the carbon and how carbon could interchange and bond with all kind of elements, and then you got Osiris known as the black dot. Matter of fact, and then too a personification of that Osiris where his body spread all over the universe. You know what I'm saying? What spread all over the universe? All over like 99.9% of everything in our physical universe right here is basis of carbon. You know what I'm saying? So that, as a matter of fact, I even thought of Osiris, too, his story, or I ain't gonna say his story, more like a Henrietta Lacks, you know, story, almost a personification, correlated to Osiris, and that carbon molecule, that melanin being spread all over the place, you know what I'm saying? But I thought about a few little bullet points, like how carbon is the foundation of biology, and so if it's carbon the foundation, and then some of these gods were the foundations of their of whatever religious system or belief system that it dealt with. These gods were the foundation. So just like carbon, you know, flirtatious, deal with all the elements. Some of these guys deal with sexy, what I'm saying? Carbon the foundation. Some of these guys are the foundation of their respective spiritual practice or religious practice, you know what I'm saying? Because all life, again, on this physical plane is based from that, from carbon, making it possible. So, too, you see why some of these deities are gods are considered like the father of everything and the mother of everything, you know what I'm saying? Because carbon, in essence, is like, like a parent to creation of a lot of things. So, so you see that personification in some of these beings or these guys, like just like carbon gives life, you know, and this being gives life, in these stories, it could be like in this carbon, or it could be like just like shoe, the guy's shoe, air, like breath of fresh air, shoe, all the personifications. But also I thought about how like that carbon bonding, easily with other elements. I make the personification or the joke with dealing with sex, but two is more of something also uh, dealing with friendliness in essence too, like being easy or easy to get along with. You know what I'm saying? Because I also saw the personification of the parallel analogy in melanated people being easy to get along with. You know what I'm saying? As a magnanimous people, because here it is that we done been through 400 years of slavery, not going back through that. We done been through all our things we done been through, but yet you know we can still keep a smile on our face and forgive our oppressors, and move forward. Some of us easier than others, but for the most part, by majority, what I'm saying, still that nice loving vibration, regardless of what some people may do to us on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? That magnanimous behavior. So just like carbon, as above, so below, the personification of carbon or the nature of carbon is in our nature, as melanated people, you know what I'm saying? Easy to bond with, with all types of elements, so I could bond easily with the grass, the birds, the bees, instead of like shooting up and killing things and hunting and stuff. It's like it's a connection, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a connection to all life. Carbon is, is the basis of all life. And if the basis of all life is running in your body, then you have the basis of all life connection. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't lack that connection. You know, that's why you see where we were taught in essence to be meat eaters and all this type of stuff, because it's a natural connection to everything through the personification or the vibration of carbon, in that manner. But like all those different little beings, and also too, when I'm about to transition into some other information that I just came into, which is not deep into the information, but also dealing with how the carbon molecule is now changing. But all these different I mean, all these different ancient stories, basically like allegories or analogies of, different scientific or chemical, what I'm saying, chemistry, what I'm saying, the different chemistries of the universe, or different, quote unquote sciences. But also, I just found another personification that goes to show you, like all these analogies. Like you got King Solomon with the ring of Saturn, you know what I'm saying? And you got the five. So say for instance, carbon 12 is one of five elements that make up DNA. So you have five elements that make up DNA, you know, and then you got the five elements of man: arm, leg, arm, head, you know what I'm saying? So you see that those analogies, and how you got the 72 beings, 72 Goetia or demons, extra chakra vortexes within the pineal gland, and the five aspects of man. you know 5 times 72 give you 360 degrees of the whole situation. You see the ring of Solomon. But all these different things, the more and more you break down, like that's what I tell people too with getting some of this knowledge. Once you just start gravitating, like stop depending so much on somebody telling you everything, and like take certain knowledge and go dig yourself, and then you'll find that your intuition will be leading you towards certain things easily. Like all this information that seems so hard to find at one time is gonna be like common place where your YouTube and your timeline is gonna be filled with it, gradually as you keep on growing. But I want to step into this other subject about how the carbon 14 molecule, or carbon 12, 14 molecule is changing into a carbon 7 molecule. You know what I'm saying? Recently, three scientists won a Nobel Peace Prize for showing how, like recently, how the sun, the energy from the sun, or the sunlight rays, is making things, or basically making carbon decompose at a very rapid rate, in the essence of like because it's dealing with like how they carbon date things. So like they're not really able to carbon date things easily like right now, because of the essence of like the sun is eating away at the matter. And matter of fact, it's a personification, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, because that right there, the old paradigm literally and physically being dismantled, you know what I'm saying? So the sunlight, is forcing that old carbon basically. And think about this: as above, so below. The sunlight is forcing that old carbon to age quickly because of the fact it hasn't, you know, put like this, because it is still carbon 12, it is aging quickly from this new high vibrational sunlight we getting, you know, is affecting all the old vibrations. Carbon 12, obviously now since we're moving to a different vibrational place, it's becoming old, so it's breaking down easier. As above, so below. People who not grasping these new age ideas, like, well, they're not learning about chakras, they're not raising their vibration, you're aging fast, just like that carbon 12. You know what I'm saying? So you see the parallels in all of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and two, the carbon, the basis of all life, you know what I'm saying? So basically this sunlight breaking down that building block, you know what I'm saying, basically. That basic building block of this of life. So basically if the basic building block of life, being broken down, so as above, so below, it's gonna be broken down on all levels, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm sorry, I kind of got into one of the moments of trying to hold on just to that point, because that noise kind of threw me off. Which, in essence, I'm gonna keep it real. I felt like that noise was purposely thrown at me to try to throw me off. That's why I kind of, you know. But the old physical paradigm is being broke down. So basically, what you have is so like say for instance, the carbon 14 molecule or element is basically carbon instead of having the 666, like the carbon 12, it has 7 protons and 7 neutrons, which makes it 14. And then so say for instance the carbon 7 that we're moving into is basically it's missing 5 neutrons. So it would be like 1 neutron plus the 6 protons will give you carbon 7, you know what I'm saying? But basically the carbon 7 is also too a personification, like all this ancient, like these great floods of the past and the rapture. You know what I'm saying? The great floods and the rapture is basically a flooding or rapture of vibration. It's a change in vibration that we're being flooded by, and it's forcing the physical nature of this matrix to transform and change. Matter of fact, to bring heaven on earth, you know what I'm saying? Raise the vibration, you know what I'm saying? It's like a cleansing, so that's all them great floods and the rapture, like all that, that's a personification of this sun, you know, bringing in these high rays, you know what I'm saying? This high sunlight, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, too, all these stories was also seen as like, well, only a chosen few is gonna walk away from this situation, because these great floods or this rapture always come after, like, right after a time of darkness. You know what I'm saying? When the majority of the world was sleeping, and in the darkness. So it's like, all right, a great flood. So, since everybody was, starting like right before 2012, like everybody fully in that little dark place until that mark hit where it's like, all right, and the flood started. Now the flood is really, getting more and more evident, you know what I'm saying? We're being flooded by the sunlight, so it's making it hard, Matter of fact, for non-melanated beings on that prophecy, because I'm not one to, that's the thing where a reality is a reality. Like, it's no melanated person better than this. As a matter of fact, even to bring that into perspective, people with melanin who haven't been taking care of themselves, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, and I watched the video that young Pharaoh brought this up, you know what I'm saying, where like some melanated people who may be getting skin cancer, and that's almost like a fish drowning in water. Yeah, shout out to Pharaoh. Matter of fact, go watch his Carbon 7 video. That brethren be having that direct, straight up information. But, you know, uh, like dealing with, that change, you know what I'm saying, where like that sunlight is affecting, you know what I'm saying, anything that, isn't in compliance, so anything that isn't transforming into this new carbon or dealing with that melanin and moving into this carbon 7 is going to be affected. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why, this sunlight and it's hotter than usual. Oh, it's record hot, record. Yeah, because it's a flood, but how they say this time is going to be fire, not water. You know what I'm saying? The fire from the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? Stick your hand in the sun and you feel hot like it's burning. You know what I'm saying? It's purging the planet, you know what I'm saying, basically. But that's what's happening right now is the carbon molecule is turning into carbon 7, so it's something that's less dense, to basically it's something less dense and something that'll be able to harness or house these new vibrations that are coming into our body, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, because you got your crown chakra that brings these energies, also bring these energies from this immediate, physical galaxy or universe, from my immediate solar system or from my immediate physical place in the universe. Because I was gonna bring up how the stellar gateway chakra, is bringing energy, high vibrational energies to is bringing high vibrational energies in to be integrated, but it's from different places of the galaxy, and not necessarily right here in our solar system. The sun is, I mean, the crown chakra mostly dealing with, that direct energy right here, like it's not quantumly moving it from different galaxies per se, because it can deal with pulling energy from different places in that nature, but that's not its main purpose, like how the stellar gateway chakra main purpose is to do that. But again, where was I? Oh yeah, talking about the housing, so this carbon 7, is that's what our DNA, I mean, well, yeah, DNA, but our melanin is all that is moving into is becoming the carbon 7, so it could become less dense and be able to survive, because remember what I just said, the sunlight is eating up at carbon 12 until, up until now, we have been beings based, carbon 12 based beings. You know what I'm saying? But now that this vibrational change is coming, not only, I mean, it's coming from everywhere. The earth is raising this vibration, the sunlight, you know what I'm saying? Got the photons, coming with the high vibration. So, it's either evolve or change or, you become toast, figuratively and literally speaking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be moving with the movement. But that's basically what's going on. So, that great flood, that rapture is basically like just a flooding of the sun energy, you know what I'm saying, of those hot rays from the sun. And basically a high vibrational energy that's, moving everybody into a high vibrational place, high vibrations is moving upwards into the heavens of your body. Because if I was a being inside of a body, the heavens would be wherever the high vibrations are. And since, you got that, like the low vibration of the root chakra right here, like the high vibration. So this, where the heavens at, you know what I'm saying? That's the high vibration, but that's what the carbon 7 is basically being, is basically being that medium in essence for harnessing these high vibrational energies that's coming into place right now. And that's where you get again, like we're coming out of a dark age. When that's why you had these floods or these raptures, and that's why it seems like it's only a certain chosen few. Because I mean, look at it now. Like how many people are really woke to these, to this information, these different situations. You know what I'm saying? You look around, it's like, damn, it seems like, like some people might not make it, you know what I'm saying? Which they will. We reincarnated beings, so might not make it back, on a high level of consciousness, but they sticking around. Ain't nobody going nowhere, you know what I'm saying? But that's the basis of the situation, But yeah, these three scientists, I don't know their name. Three scientists that recently discovered, how the sun rays is just basically eating up at the carbon 12, you know what I'm saying, decaying it at a fast rate, you know. Matter of fact, causing Kronos to really do his job, Matter of fact, that sound like the God and the devil working together, quote unquote, the sun, Ra, the devil, Satan, Saturn, you know what I'm saying? The energy of your physical being along with that solar energy working in cahoots, you know what I'm saying? In essence. But not necessarily because the sunlight is damaging the physical, aspect, but because of the fact that they, the physical nature working with the solar nature. But yeah, we basically moving out of this paradigm, matter of fact, because also dealing with how they discovering this, which I probably brought up, but like carbon 14 is how they do carbon dating, you know what I'm saying? Like which I think I did a video in the past on carbon dating. I might have to look that up, and see, because I felt like I did something about carbon 14 a while back, but but again, basically, you just see the importance of how, like, carbon dealing with life here in this physical plane, and how also how it's related and tied to certain deities and gods of, ancient texts. And you see, like right now, we're going through a vibrational change. So this carbon 12 is turning into carbon 7. Matter of fact, go research it. Because that's another reason why, like, I didn't make this video. I kind of heard about this, like, want to say like a week ago maybe, but like I'm only getting around to doing a video because I wanted to like really, research and get to know a little more about this before I even open my mouth on the subject. You know what I'm saying? So I did a little research. Matter of fact, watch a Young Pharaoh video. Matter of fact, shout out because I'm humble, man. Like my information, I'm good. I'm different. So, you know, I could give a shout out to the brethren. Shout out to the brethren, Young Pharaoh, man, and watch his video, Carbon 7, you know, where he break it down. Cause man, I wouldn't front like the brethren, not like a scientist, more of a scientist on the level of breaking down, like, more of the science, and showing you, and everything too. I do my thing, but you know what I'm saying? I have my moments. You know what I'm saying? I have my moments. But definitely look into that, and do further research so you could see, know what's going on around you. So you could better take care of yourself in this vibrational change, But yeah, that is the rapture, that is the flood right now, it's that that solar energy, that high vibrational solar energy. So, you want to still eat that meat, and still take those prescription pills. Cool. That's gonna hold you in that carbon 12, that state of being carbon 12. So if you're in the state of being, like carbon 12, and the sunlight is rapidly aging things, let's see, let's do a little arithmetic. You take that one thing I just said and plus one other thing I just said, and what conclusion could you come out with? Hmm. That if you want to last long on a physical level, in this reality right now, you might want to raise your vibration. You might want to do a little meditation, clean up that diet, You might want to start paying attention to real spiritual information, real truthful information, I should say, on a spiritual level. Start paying attention to the truth and stop playing around with these lies. Stop playing with your ego. Now is the best time to start growing spiritually, right now. But again, that's basically it. But, yep, carbon, carbon 12. And carbon 40. Matter of fact, 'cause that's another reason why too. Which even now I still don't know for sure. Like I know they mean like carbon, like the carbon 12 for sure, but I don't know, does it exclude the carbon 14 or does it I don't know the exact science of it just yet. You know what I'm saying? I do know it is in my DNA, figuratively and literally speaking. Ooh, double entendre. The bell ring on the truth. God dang it, man. It's just crazy. You the bell, you the bell. On that note, peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now, it's the vibrate.